Hello everyone and welcome to Battle the Beast episode 32 of the All Generation. I'm Adam and today we've got a battle between two beasts, obviously. One which I do not really think that highly of and another which I think rather highly of. Now one is popular, one isn't as popular. To put this simply, one I like, one I dislike, but to Lucas, it's the other way around. The one I dislike is the one he kind of likes, and the one I like, or kind of like, he dislikes. And Lucas, just by seeing the title, you know which beast I'm talking about. And I don't see why I'm even hiding this from you guys anymore. But yeah, with the beast that I like, but Lucas kind of dislikes, it's, of course, he has a problem with it because it killed Silver in round 3 of the Old Generation Battle of the Beasts. Which I won't let him forget because I still find it kind of funny. So with that, obviously we're going to introduce the beast now. Representing Series 5, The Shade of Death, Book number 4, Koldo the Arctic Warrior. Now, out of all the beasts that's already fought in Series 5, I know Tremor and Amixis have. Excuse me. And okay, that does not help. I cannot see them from over there. I know that... wait. Oh. Amixis didn't. But... okay, so I know at least 2 of them already fought. Hawkeye is yet to come, I know, and Rock hasn't fought yet. Crab, I do not know where Crab is. I think Crab has already fought, and if so, I do not remember what he fought, but I'm pretty sure he most likely lost. I do not really know. So with that, Koldo is probably the 4th or the 3rd book from this series to fight. Like I said, I don't know. But I'm sure he'll do fine. He'll be fine. Let's look at his opponent. Representing Series 11, The New Age, book number 5 is Serpio, the Slithering Shadow. So, representing Series 11, Elko has already fought, Tarek, Brutus, and... okay, Flamar hasn't fought yet, because I actually remember what your opponent is. And Tauron hasn't fought yet either. Right. Yeah, Tauron has not fought yet, neither has Flamar. But Brutus, Tarek, and Elko have. And... God, I do not remember which ones have won. I think 2 of them have made it through. So with that, Koldo versus Serpio. Admittedly, not an interesting looking fight, but I gotta be a bit fair, like, it's kind of like a little battle between me and Lucas, because Lucas likes that one, and I like that one, but we dislike the others. So, with that, we kind of got a bit of a fight between us going on. However, if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think there's much of a fight here. Good thing this is a round 1 battle because this isn't going to last long. Sorry, I'm just pointing out the facts. So with that, we'll get to the stats. Koldo the Arctic Warrior. This spiky beast is a giant made of ice. Despite his strength, Koldo is gentle unless provoked by an enemy of Gwildor. That is what Serpio shall be for this battle. There are rumours that the people of the kingdom have tried to capture Koldo, though it is difficult to believe anyone would be so foolhardy. Special fact about Koldo: when Koldo was set free from Velma's curse, he helped rescue Tom. Oh, how nice. Koldo's age is 335, power 183. Sorry, I need to breathe here. Magic level 166, fright factor 84, and size is 115. Powers and abilities: Koldo has an ice body made of ice manipulation, can freeze over water when he steps on it, giving him platforms to walk on. How nice. Ice regeneration, can regenerate any major wounds from ice, so that might help him. Enhanced strength, not going to go into that one. Enhanced durability, not going to go into that one. Ice and cold immunity, don't need to explain that one. Weapon mastery, he has a club. Equipment, his club. We'll come back to weaknesses later. Now we're on to Serpio. So, give me a moment to find Serpio's stats. Good thing when Lucas gets back to editing the videos, this part will be cut out. Serpio the Slithering Shadow. Serpio has the body of a giant snake with scales that gleam in the darkness. He was created by the sorceress Kenza using the blood of Arxa the mountain giant. And like that beast, he only has one eye, which glows brightly. He can breathe a hail of freezing water, encasing his victims in ice. How interesting. Destiny and Danger Compass says, Tom fought Serpio in the dark old mine shaft. How interesting. That was sarcasm. Get over it. Age is 0. Power is 284. Magic level 180. Fright factor 87. And size is 327. Well, as I know, there were bigger sizes. I'm just trying to entertain you guys. That's what I'm trying to do. Powers and abilities. Ice body. I'm not going to go into that one. Ice and venom breath. Serpio can spew out icy venom like water from his mouth, which is cold enough to freeze a person solid. And as it's venomous, I'm going to assume it's poisonous as well. Flight. Aha! I knew it! Ice resistance. Serpio is resistant to his own ice breath. That is actually very good for him. Natural weaponry. Cold forked tongue. So, fork, tongue, pitchfork. To chill anything among contact. So, frostbite. Almost immediately. Nice. A strong tail to smack opponents with. Nice. And obviously sharp fangs as well. Enhanced durability. Enhanced strength. Borrowing. He can dig a tunnel. And 360 degree vision. Serpio can transform his heart, which is situated in his tail. What? Okay, I'm learning something new about Serpio here. Why is his heart at the end of his tail? He could turn it into another eye, which is good, but why on his tail? Whatever. Okay, that is a bit weird, but I'm not going to question it. I like Serpio, but I know someone who will. So with that, we're going to go into the weaknesses now. My portion. Hello! Koldo's weakness is the fire weakness. So he'll just start to melt. He'll just melt when he's close to fire. So it's a good thing he's not going against Hellion, isn't he? Enchantments. Koldo is susceptible to enchantments. Huh, okay. And Serpio's weakness is his weak point, which is, of course, his heart at the end of his tail. You're such a cool beast, but you have such a bad weakness. Why? I'm not sure I'm biased, but come on, being honest, this is my favourite beast of Series 11, and it has such a bad weakness. Honestly, I think I might prefer Bruce's now. That sucks, it really does. Oh god, I do not want Lucas seeing this, but he's already going to see it. I know he's probably going to put something up there when he edits this video, kind of like, aha! So now I know what his weakness is, so you had to be fair now. Okay. Oh god, this is it's been a long day for me. Okay, give me a break. It's been a long day. So, with that, let's get into the fight. We're going to have an icy, watery battlefield. So, frozen lake. Koldo versus Serpio. Let's get into this. So, as the chamber doors open, Koldo just makes his way out, dragging his club, hoisting it over his shoulder, just marching out, ready to fight. Serpio just bursts through the sky exit and just roars into the arena. Pardon me. So he spots his opponent almost immediately, and he shoots his ice breath directly towards Koldo. Koldo just stands there, completely surrounded, but and just smashes his club up onto the snow, causing a giant snow cloud to appear. Serpio's breath just freezes that in place, and Koldo, using his club, just breaks right through it, swinging it like a baseball bat, and walks right through it like a golem of sorts. And that is kind of what Koldo is, a golem. And he declares that Serpio must come down to the ground to fight like a man. Serpio, it's probably thinking, I'm not a man, I'm a snake. But he comes down to the ground anyway, diving towards the ground, but doesn't actually go land on the ground. He burrows underground. He makes his way underground, and what he does is that he's burrowing his way to underneath Koldo. Koldo, feeling the vibrations, knows he's underneath, so he brings his club up and brings it down directly on the ground. But Serpio kind of predicted that would happen, so he moved out of the way just in time before, well, you know, vibrations. And Serpio pokes his head out of the ground from a few meters behind Koldo. Koldo turns around and sees Serpio and goes to bring his club down on top of him. But Serpio pulled his head down and puts it back up in another way. Koldo goes over there to do that. It's like whack-a-mole. He does that a few times. Koldo is starting to get a bit tired. And right when he's just feeling a bit nauseated from moving around so much, Serpio springs up and using his tail, wraps it around Koldo's legs and just pulls them from beneath him. Koldo crumbles down to the ground. And whilst trying to get back up, Serpio freezes Koldo in an icy prison. Icy venomous prison. Nice. But the being made of ice, Koldo cannot get poisoned from the poison. Is that a rule I just made up? Maybe. Will Lucas complain about it? I hope not. I know you're rooting for Koldo. So, but Koldo is still stuck in an icy prison. But Koldo, using his just enhanced strength, just breaks right through it. Gets back up and greets Serpio. Serpio, realising that he can't use his main weapon, he charges up towards Koldo and just turns around at the last minute, using his wings to just chip at Koldo's side. Koldo just reels back from that pain, moves his hand, and there's a giant crack made in his eyes where a giant piece is missing from his cheek. Koldo, in anger, lifts his club up and goes to bring it down on top of Serpio. But Serpio decides that's enough of the club and uses his fangs to bite into it and yank it away from Koldo and throws it over the arena wall. Koldo, in absolute anger, charges towards Serpio and tackles him to the ground. And Serpio, using his tail, wraps it around Koldo's neck and pulls back on Koldo whilst Koldo is trying to strangle Serpio. Koldo, being pulled back, has to use his own hands to just try and pull the tail off. But Serpio lifts his head back up, roars into Koldo's face, and moves his tail as quickly as he can and bites down on Koldo's head. Koldo, using his hands, trying to pry Serpio's mouth open, but Serpio uses his arms to just wrap around Koldo's arms and pull them down around his torso so he can't use them. And he just pulls his... Serpio pulls his head up whilst pushing his body down, and also pulling Koldo's head up whilst pushing Koldo's body down. It doesn't seem to be doing anything because you can't stretch ice. And Serpio decides to do the only reasonable thing and holds Koldo's body firm and using his head just twists his head as far as he can. And holding Koldo's body firm, Koldo's head is forced to turn as well because trapped in a vice of his head. of Serpio's head, he just hears a giant crack coming from his neck, and Serpio hears that as well. And he releases his grip of Koldo, gets him back to a safe distance, whilst Koldo is just standing there, just a bit nauseated, let's say. Serpio can see that Koldo is just using his hands to just twist his head in place. And the wounds on his neck and the cracks have been healed, along with the chip missing from his cheek. And Serpio realised he needs to actually kill Koldo instead of just leave him to die. So what Serpio does, he slithers up towards Koldo, wraps his tail around Koldo's legs and pulls him from beneath him, but this time Koldo was able to use Serpio's mouth as support and pull Serpio's face down, face planted him into the ground. Serpio, not very impressed by that, uses his head to just headbutt Koldo in the head, obviously, smashing Koldo into the ground. And what Serpio does, he flies up to the safe distance. Whilst Koldo's getting back up, Serpio dive bombs down onto Koldo, and pushing Koldo's body into the ground whilst Serpio is burrowing. Koldo is being dragged underground as well, just trying to grab on for dear life, but it's not helping. And Serpio, having a tight grip on Koldo's body whilst just dragging him down on the ground. All Koldo can do is just wait till he's brought back up on top. And eventually he is done, but then Serpio starts flying to where he released his grip off of Koldo, where he's just left flying in midair. He can see his club in the distance, but he can't reach it because that's out of bounds. But right before Koldo could do anything, Serpio uses his tail and wraps it around of Koldo's body and arms, and brings him up to Serpio's eye level. And using his thoughts to go into Koldo's mind, he says, "Surrender now, or you will face a fate worse than death." Koldo stares into his cold, icy heart and says, "There's no fate worse than death." Serpio took that as a challenge and spins around in the circle multiple times and just slams Koldo directly into the ground. Whilst Koldo was on the way down, Serpio dives bomb down, and right as Koldo hit the ground, he can feel his back just cracking all over the place. But then he sees Serpio just diving down and smashes right into his head. Koldo goes to raise his hands up to stop it, but his hands were already cracked from that landing. So was his head, and Serpio just plows right through both of them, shattering the hand and the head. The rest of Koldo's body just goes limp and falls down to the ground. And with that, Serpio comes back out from underground, slithers up, and using his tail, he lifts up the remains of Koldo's body. And just to make sure nothing else would happen with this already cracked body, he brings it up and smashes it down on an icy rock, which shatters some of it, but not to his standard. So he uses the rest of it and just slams it into the arena wall, which isn't made of ice. It's made of solid rock, which actually smashes it into multiple pieces. Satisfied, Serpio slithers back to his chamber, ready for the next battle. So with that, Serpio the Slithering Shadow has won, and Koldo has lost. If you think Koldo should have won, please leave in the comments below why you think that. However, my word is final, and Serpio is moving on to the next round. Now, whilst I know some people are going to be a bit upset that Serpio won but Koldo lost, there's multiple reasons why I gave Serpio the victory. One, Serpio is a hell of a lot larger than Koldo. Two, Serpio is in the cunning personality, whilst Koldo is more of the angry one. So Serpio fights with his brain, and Serpio, knowing his weak point, obviously, knows that he needs to protect the end of his tail at all costs. So, whilst he was using his tail a fair amount, which he can use as a weapon, he's obviously protecting the tip of it. That's where his heart is. Also, the ice breath, whilst that didn't help in this battle, will help in the future. His fangs, whilst Koldo could have broken through them, he obviously tried to pry the mouth open just so he can get his head free, but that didn't work because, well, a jaw, along with a jaw, could be stronger than two pairs of hands. But even if that was the case, Serpio was able to just use his tail to just trap Koldo. Serpio, I guess, just has more uses with his body than Koldo does. So with that, I gave Serpio the victory because of these multiple reasons. Will some people still be upset about it? Most likely. No choice I make here is going to be a 100% agreed one. But with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.